Hello, everyone. So today is January the 20th, year 2026. And recently, I thought of something concerning my Jehovah's Witness mom. And though we're going to go way back more than probably 40 years ago, but I don't know what it is, but it started really bothering me thinking about what Jehovah's Witnesses stands for and what my mom didn't do when I was growing up as a child. So sit back and relax and enjoy today's video. So I'm sure you know, throughout many decades, even before I was born back in 1977, Jehovah's Witnesses' bold belief is preaching. That's all they want you to do. Preach, 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 and pioneer. This is going to be a little bit different video than most of the videos that people talk about. So, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, all I wanted with my car settlement when I was going to be buying my very first vehicle, and that was a Mazda Miata convertible car. Now, when my Jehovah's Witness mom found out about it, do you think she was happy about that? No. And this was not about money. I had more than enough money to buy whatever vehicle I wanted and buy it in full. But the problem my mom was having was, and I'll never forget this, again, we're going back, again, in the late 1990s, or it might have been the early year 2000s. We're now in 2026. My mom approached me and told me, or actually informed me, Vic, how can you buy a Miata and going in field service? And I understood, yes, it would be very inconvenient going in field service on the weekends, whatever. And I was already baptized at that time. Remember, I got baptized when I was 18, back in 1996. And so my mom did not want me to buy a small two-door convertible. She told me very clearly it's not practical. She kept telling me, how can you go in field service in that little tiny convertible? So, of course, she convinced me to buy a four-door Volkswagen Jetta. But now, I want to go back into the early 80s. This is even before my brother was born. My brother now is 43 years old. We're going back to about 1980, 1981. Now keep this in mind. Before I was born and before my mom met my dad and they got married, my mom dropped out of high school when she was about 15, 16. And again, she was already baptized. She got baptized when she was 14. Now, do you think she wanted to, right when she dropped out of high school and look into going to college? Of course, she didn't even graduate high school until she was in her 50s. But even if she was able to, do you think she wanted to go to college, go to trade school when she turns 18 and everything? No. She wanted to pioneer full time because, of course, she knew in the teachings of the Watchtowers organization that by the time my mom turns 18 in 1975, Armageddon was coming. And of course, we all know this. Jehovah's organization, it's all about works. It's no such thing as having trust and grace of Jesus. The more works you do, the more better saved when Armageddon comes. So again, my mom's thinking was, when Armageddon comes in 1975, and if I'm a full-time pioneer, then Jehovah's going to look at that and say, oh, look at Sister Cornwell. Armageddon just is coming tomorrow, 1975, and that she's a regular pioneer. She didn't even finish high school, and she's a full-time pioneer. She thought of that. But now, let's go a couple years later. Do you think my mom did what normal good Jehovah's Witnesses did? Get a 4-door vehicle, maybe buy a Suburban when she started procreating, having me and my little brother, or maybe getting a 4-door truck or SUV? No. You know what she bought? And she didn't even buy one, she bought 2. And I remember one of them, it was white, but white. She bought and it was gorgeous, a T-top Camaro. Don't believe me? Go talk to my mom, Tina. She'll tell you. She won't lie about it. And I'm not complaining about this vehicle situation. Just hear me out. But she bought not one, but 2 separate T-top Camaros. I remember when I was real little, my mom, for whatever reason, we would stop at that 7-Eleven at 51st Avenue and Indian School, real close to where we lived at in the Maryville area, Phoenix, Arizona. And we would go to that 7-Eleven, that exact location, and of course, I was a little tiny kid, less than probably 5 years old, and I would always wanted a Slurpee. And I would get that Slurpee, and I'll remember one particular day. If you don't believe me, talk to my cousin Melanie. My cousin Melanie was with us. We all got Slurpees. I don't know about my cousin Melanie, but I did. And her T-top was open. And though I don't know where we were going to, maybe she was going home, we're going to go somewhere, but she had that T-top open. T-top open. And I and my cousin Melanie, our heads were popping up on top of the T-top convertible. And while my mom was driving, she was cracking up, and that Slurpee was splashing all over me and my cousin Melanie. We were just laughing our butts off. But my point is this. Do you think my mom was thinking about what Jehovah's Witnesses organization wants you to do and not buy a convertible, not buying a T-top 2-door Camaro? No. Do you think my mom was thinking about that? No. And now I'm coming to the real reason why I'm talking about this video. That was just my introduction. So now, what I'm about to tell you is a hardcore facts. So I'm sure you know that I got baptized, and I know I just said this a second ago, that I got baptized 1 month before I turned 19 back in 1996. And you know, all I wanted to do more than anything else, and I was just like my mom. I dropped out of high school, she dropped out of high school, 20 plus years apart, is pioneer. Pioneer, pioneer, pioneer. That's all I wanted. Jehovah's Witnesses were teaching at that time in 1996, brothers and sisters, Armageddon is coming any day now. Should we worry about going to college, going to trade school, or even finishing high school? No, brothers and sisters, but to pioneer, pioneer, pioneer. I believed it. I believe wholehearted what Jehovah's believed in their Watchtower governing body organization. But now, did my mom have that same thinking when she was 20 years old, right after I was born? That's back in 1977. And the answer, of course, is no. So right before my brother was born in 1982, while she had that Camaro, that gorgeous T-top, he was beautiful, do you think my mom was pioneering like she did prior to 1975 when she met my dad? The answer is no. What did my mom do? And I'll never forget this either. In the very beginning, my mom was a EMT, a paramedic. She was gone, just like my brother did years later. He was the EMT for a period of time. She was gone days at a time. You know the whole process when you're a paramedic or a firefighter. You're gone on call for like 2 or 3 days at a time. Then you're home a couple days, you're gone a couple days. You think my mom wanted to pioneer? And here's where it gets more interesting. Around the same year my brother was born, in 1982, she left as an EMT, and we all know what came next. For whatever reason, she started being involved in wanting to be a licensed midwife and delivering home birth. And she did that all the way until 1995 when I was 18, the same year I got baptized. But my point is, throughout those years, which was 10 plus years later, do you think my mom ever had the thinking of what Jehovah's organization wants Jehovah's Witnesses to do and pioneer? The answer is no. Her whole life until she left in 1995, it was all about working. Work, work, work. And now what do you think about something? I know I'm just venting, is talking out of my ass. I'm sure you Jehovah's Witnesses, if you're watching this video, I know they still do it today. When you're out there, I know that they don't call it district assembly anymore, they call it regional. Or their circuit assemblies, or one-day assemblies, I don't even know what they do anymore. And they always say, so, brothers and sisters, we have a sister who's on stage, and sister, please tell us our story. Well, brother, so I recently was in the process of finishing and graduating high school, and I had really great grades, almost straight A's. And so right before I graduated high school, the principal advised me that there's a good chance that you could have at least a 4-year scholarship to go to college. And of course, the brother who's doing the speaking says, okay, sister, so what did you do? Did you do what their principal wanted you to do? And especially if you got the full 4-year college scholarship? Well, brother, at the end, right when I graduated high school, unfortunately, I did got accepted for the full 4-year scholarship to go into college. But brother, I want to stay loyal to Jehovah, governing body. And so, what did you do, sister? So instead of going to college, or of course going to trade school, I got accepted not long after I graduated high school, and I started working part-time at McDonald's, cleaning tables. And the ending story, brother, and all you sisters, I applied and I got accepted as a full-time pioneer. And of course, we all know, they all clap, oh, praise Jehovah, praise the governing body, praise Jehovah's organization, praise the Watchtower's organization. So, but of course, did my mom do that? Was my mom worried about the more you give your life to the governing body's organization, the more you're going to be saved? And the answer was no. Even after she left midwifery, and we were all living in Payson, Arizona, about 3 hours away from Phoenix, and she started working the graveyard shift and delivering newspapers. And even after she got her CDL license and became a school bus driver, You know, school bus driver is not a full-time job. It's a split shift. My mom could, more than anything, at least be an auxiliary pioneer. And again, I'm just talking out of my ass. My point of it all this is my mom did none of that. And she's old now. She's 68 years old. I know I saw a little photo, which I photoshopped and took it, of her standing at one of those cart stands, sitting, of course. You know, she can't do a lot of walking. She has rheumatoid arthritis. Again, I'm not talking bad about my mom. I'm not even being mean about it. I'm just bringing a point. People are encouraged to pioneer. And again, I'm not going to talk bad about my Aunt Kathy, but if you look on her Instagram account, it clearly says that she moved back to Arizona. This is the profile. She moved back to Arizona. I got baptized back in 1964, I think so, and I'm a full-time pioneer. So that looks good for my Aunt Kathy, especially since she's close to 80 years old. She's not a spring chicken. But again, my point of this video is my mom wasn't that type. Her thinking changed over the years. So remember, before I was born and before my mom got married and not long after she dropped out of high school, all she wanted to do was doing exactly what the governing body organization wants you to do, and to pioneer, pioneer, pioneer. Now, until just very, very recently, this year, the end of 2025, I know they changed that Armageddon might not survive by the time Armageddon comes. Again, we're not talking about that. But until just recently, over the last many, many years, the Jehovah's organization, the organization of the governing body, they still were teaching for decades, until 2025 for that matter, the Armageddon's coming any day now, just around the corner. So you would think that my mom, throughout the many decades, she still would have the same thinking of wanting to pioneer, to do whatever she could do, especially when she was a school bus driver, or actually not even a school bus driver very long. She moving on up. She went from a short period of time as a school bus driver, then she kissed ass at the district in Phoenix, Arizona, and became a behind-the-wheel trainer, and then a third-party tester. And then, of course, that's when not long after that, there was an opening for a supervising position. We all know they did say you had to have proof of your high school diploma or GED. She didn't graduate then, so she did have to go take a GED class. Again, I'm not talking bad about my mom, I'm just stating the facts, but she did go get her GED, and she got the supervising position, and she did it really well. I'm not saying it's bad, but still, her thinking has never been about pioneering, because Armageddon's coming in the last day. So my point, and this is going to be the ending of this video, is my point is this, and I know my mom denied this. She did tell me. I don't believe her. I think she's lying. I truly believe she does not have it in her heart like she used to when she dropped out of high school and started pioneering full-time prior to 1975, and getting married at 17 years of age, thinking that Armageddon's going to be coming by the time she turns 18. I think her heart and her mind and her soul, again, she'll never admit this, especially not admit it to me, I do think that and I talked about this a while back, she is a secret PMO. Physical in, mentally out. She goes to the meetings. She comments at the meetings, at their Watchtower study. She studies her Watchtower magazines. She's very loving to all the brothers and sisters. Oh, Sister Hallquist. And of course they're looking at me and, oh, do you think that your oldest son, Victor, will ever come back to the truth? No, he won't. Yeah, So she has that face. She shows that love. That, oh, there, Sister Hallquist. And everyone looks up to her. She feels bad for her, knowing that she has her oldest son, who's gay and a Christian. I do believe in God. And then her younger brother, or her younger son, Benjamin, who married to a light bearer, Lucifer lover. That's what she called herself. She called herself a light bearer. That means Lucifer. Another story. But my point is, my mom has been born and raised as one of Jehovah's Witnesses all her entire life. Almost 70 years. And I know I'll be talking about this in the future like I did in the past. Again, we're going back to the I truly believe deep down in her heart. She is a PMO. She's a physical in, goes to the meetings. She does exactly what the Watchtowers organization. I know she doesn't work anymore. She can't drive commercials anymore with her arthritis and her not one but two hip replacement surgeries. Yeah, I know all about it. I know you're trying to block me. You think I'm not going to find out? I do sugar drops. And she probably is a pioneer. I don't know about full-time, but pioneering, I'm sure she is now. She stayed at home. Don't know if she still lived in an RV park. That's beside the point. My point is this. Over the years, until I finally cut her out the whole social media, out of everything, she did so much shit over the years that if that was any other Jehovah's Witness doing what my mom did, your ass is grass. Those elders would pull that brother or pull that sister away so quickly, and they would say, what's going on? It's brought to our attention that you've been having an ongoing relationship with your, not just a ex-Jehovah's Witness, but an apostate who speaks out against the Watchtowers organization. Yeah, exactly. Her ass would be in trouble so big time. Though I can't confirm it, and maybe it did. Maybe that's the reason why she's been blocking me for so long on social media now. Usually she never blocked me this long, but she is. So is there a story behind that? Did the elders actually approach her? Again, I know I'm not going to find the answer to it. She'll never admit this, and we don't talk anymore. But seriously, could the elders got to her and they disciplined her? I'm sure she wasn't disfellowshipped. Then again, you never know. I don't know anything anymore. Remember when I found out a couple months ago that my Uncle Howie died back in April of 2025? You think my mom told me? You think my little brother told me? Hell no. I had to find out from my cousin Laura's daughter, who is no longer a Jehovah's Witness and disfellowshipped. She had to tell me about his death. You think my dad told me that my Aunt Virginia's husband Steve, who passed away, he's been passed away a couple years now. No. And remember, my mom, I had a video about this. If you want to know about it, go back and watch it. It's in my YouTube channel. Why, again, is my mom, who's born and raised in the truth all her entire life, and that she's Facebook friends with my openly gay ex-Jehovah's Witness Manny? Yeah, do you really think, I said this once, and then I'm going to shut up and end this video. Do you really think my Uncle Manny would randomly say, I want to become Facebook friends with my brother Victor's ex-wife Tina? Of course not, duh. But my mom would do it. My mom would definitely do it. But there has to be a reason. So maybe I'll never find out the reasons why. I know I'm going off topic. But so I hope forgive me if I'm venting. I do this a lot. But really, think about my mom's past. Me growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. My mom had no desire to be a pioneer after she had me, after she had my brother. All she wanted to do was work, work, work. And my parents were not Prada, Gucci, Louis Vuitton rich, but still, we were well off. I told you this 5 million times before. When I was growing up and my mom was a midwife, our dinners was 85% of the time, boys, what do you want? We're going to McDonald's. Boys, we're going to KFC. Boys, we're going to Taco Bell. What do you want? It was constantly fast food dinners. My point is, don't you think, and again, I don't care, I'm not Jehovah to give a damn, but don't you think it would, especially when the early years when my mom was licensed midwife, there were so many times in the middle of our Kingdom Hall meetings, and my mom would whisper, boys, Linda Carter's in labor. We have to go. We have to miss the rest of the meeting. That happened. That was my life till I was 18. Don't you think the elders would have sooner or later privately spoke to my mom and said, Sister Hernandez or Sister Hallquist, now we've been seeing you lately a lot. You've been missing either all the meetings or some of the meetings or in the middle of the meetings. You know, the most important thing to do is kiss your ass, bow down to the governing body. And obviously and of course, they're going to the meetings, and you ask because you're not going to the meetings regularly. And maybe she did apply. I just thought of that. Maybe she did try to apply over the years to Pioneer, and she was denied. I know that does happen. And they said, I'm sorry, Sister Hernandez. I'm sorry, Sister Hallquist. You were denied to be a Pioneer because you missed too many meetings. You don't go to all the meetings 7 days a week. You do a lot of gossip. Remember, this is all before social media was invented. So, I don't know. I know I'm just talking. I just wanted to do this video. But really, seriously, everything I told you, I'm not lying. I didn't make this out of my ass. You can tell my mom. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my mom will admit, yes, I did try to apply to Pioneer over the years, and I got denied. Well, then that looks bad then, Mommy dearest. That looks really bad, because then the brothers and sisters, when they found out and say, what? Sister Hernandez, Sister Hallquist tried to apply for Pioneer, and she was denied? What did she do wrong? Why would she be denied? It's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't. Either she never applied to pioneering throughout when I was a child, and then that looks bad as a Jehovah's Witness, or she applied multiple times. Ching! Denied. Ching! Denied. Ding, ding, ding. Denied, denied, denied. And that would look bad too. Anyway, I just want to end this video. Yes, I know I said this. I know I miss my mom. I miss my brother. Don't miss my dad. Don't even know my dad. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and please forgive me for sounding like I'm inventing. But I thought about this just recently, and it just kind of boggled my mind, just knowing that throughout the years, after I was born, my mom, the desire of pioneering just went away. Now, of course, again, before I was born, it was all about pioneering. So she basically went from pioneering before I was born, then no desire, decades and decades later, and again, I can't confirm if she's pioneering now. Maybe she is, maybe she doesn't, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you later.